Okay, so we are going to jump into episode 3. So today is actually an anniversary. I was debating whether or not I was going to discuss this, but why not? Why not? So today is my anniversary, but not a relationship. No. Today marks a day that I chose, or I am choosing to not forget. And it is kind of the reason why I came to be. So for those that are new to this channel, my name is Dr. Carmen Latrice, and this is Black Sugar Honey Iced Tea. And if you know, you know. But in this whole emotional intelligence journey, I am understanding that it all stemmed from me. Me wanting to, or having this passion develop, is something that is strange, new, weird, to say the least. And yeah, so today is the anniversary of when I was released. Not prison, although it was similar. The mental institution. I know, but you're a doctor. I know. Doctor, nurse. So it was July 17th, 2017 to be exact. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. Without going into a lot of grave detail, was suffering mentally. I was in a lot of anguish. A lot really wasn't making sense upstairs, if you know what I mean. And I started to become paranoid. Don't really know why. Don't really know what pushed me into the dark end. I just remember one day, like a few days before, I couldn't sleep. I was having every thought that could be in my head was like running around. And it wouldn't stop. I'm not the one person to disclose how I'm feeling, specifically in live time. So I didn't really know what was going on, so I chose to remove myself up top. At least that's what my brain decided to do. So I remember a lot of it, but it was almost as though I couldn't control myself. It's almost like somebody was operating me and I was on strings, but I knew everything that was going on. I just couldn't stop it. And I remember collecting a lot of items and looking back in my mind then, I'm saving my family. I'm collecting all the things that are toxic, all the things that have horrible chemicals, and I was putting it in a bag. I was going to destroy it in my mind. But to my family looking in, I was hoarding stuff, y'all. I had a clear, big bag, like a 65-gallon maybe bag, huge, full of stuff. But this is where it gets strange, y'all. I was putting silverware inside of the bag. So at that time, I had just transitioned back from California to Illinois. And I was having a hard time as a nurse getting a job. Either I had too much experience, whatever that meant, Or, we just hired a bunch of nurses. You just missed the deadline. Didn't know it was one, but okay. So, when you don't have money, a lot of things bother you. How do I pay this bill? How will I keep going forward? How will I eat? Yeah. And looking back, I had family, but I've always felt as though I was a part of someone else's family, if that makes sense. Like I never really felt like I belonged. So this is a transparent podcast because even as a practitioner, I'm pretty transparent. And my purpose in telling my story is to help, even if it's one, avoid what I went through. Because for me, as a nurse who went to a psychiatric facility with other nurses and doctors and other staff, they treated me like gum stuck on the bottom of an ocean. Yeah. I remember one specific episode, which I will not forget. And lady, if you're listening, Diane is your name. I really hope you found a way to be nice to people that you do service to, because you were not. And we're just gonna throw all the way under the bus. She worked at Madden, and she would always color coordinate her glasses with her outfits. And on this particular day, she decided to wear purple, like a lilac purple, from the glasses to the shirt to the pants. And I even believe her shoes matched as well. So Diane was one of the mental health technicians, basically like a CNA, but in the psychiatric world. And so, for whatever reason, I was upset. Not for whatever reason. I was upset because I had been hospitalized. It was going on maybe day 4 or 5. And when I had first got admitted, I didn't remember a lot of things. They were medicating me at the emergency room prior to my transport with Ativan. Because, yeah, I was not stable mentally. I was jumping, moving around, doing everything but listening and calming down. So that was their way of calming the beast. So when they transferred me to the hospital, they had medicated me that day. So I would be the nice patient for the next facility, if you know what I mean. So I get to the facility. I don't really remember that night. I don't remember talking to doctors. I don't remember talking to staff. I don't remember signing myself in because I was admitted involuntarily. So against my will. But my mind to the external world was insufficient. Let's just say insufficient funds. So when you got insufficient funds up here, you know what that means, crazy house. Or if you're violent, prison. But go back to my story of telling it about the lady in purple, Diane. So I get medicated because I'm asking, what am I doing next? I hadn't seen the doctor at this point in my mind for days now. And every time I ask a nurse, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, I get away from me. You're bothering me. Move, move, move. Excuse me? So, enough of the move, move, move. I'm annoyed now. Because I'm in here, I can't leave. I have to ask to go to the bathroom because y'all have the door locked. I'm getting harassed by the new male inmates, that's what I call them, but patients who came in and were trying to get sexual favors in front of the staff now. So, of course, I'm not comfortable here. So, on this day, for whatever reason, the staff doesn't like me continually asking questions. So, I leave it alone. But I go get a brush and I threw it in a space where nobody was there, right? Nobody was sitting there. It was just, I knew nobody was there. This is me frustrated because y'all not listening to me. I threw it. They decide, you're very aggressive. So I had asked to get my clothes because my family had brought me a big duffel bag of clothes. So I asked, can I get my stuff? Because they kept it off the unit because I had such a large bag. And in the psych hospital, if you've been there, you cannot keep basically anything but a few items. So I go out the unit with the staff because they say, oh, let's go get your things, right? Okay. So I go out, and as I go out the door, there's two security guards. Now, mind you, at that time I was about 118, 119 pounds. I'm 5'5". That's not that big. Those two security guards were huge. So the nurse comes after they push me to sit in a chair, and I get 2 shots in my arm. Now, the nurse didn't use no alcohol to clean off my skin before he stuck me with 2 needles in the same arm, literally millimeters apart. I asked him what it was. He didn't tell me, but me being the nurse, I knew what he gave me. So, in the world of mental health, when a patient is aggressive, combative, what have you, you got one or two options. You can't do both now. You can either medicate with emergency medication, IV meds, whatever the doctor has for you as a patient, or you can seclude them, which is locking them up basically in a room with maybe a mattress, and basically that's it, as a way to calm you down. But you can't do both. Me, they did both. The nurse, some nurse called Mitch, something like that. But every time I would ask, they would flip their IDs over. Or if I would try to look to see like who's the name that goes along with the employee, they flipping their name tags over. Or some of them would not even wear it when they came on the floor, which they supposed to, because you're an employee. It's not your house. So Nurse Mitchums gives me 2 shots, and then he has the security guards escort me into this room and lock the door. Now, Diane, remember the lady in purple, is the one who's coming to sit watch, because when you lock somebody up, you have to immediately make them what you call a one-on-one, meaning you have to have eye contact on them at all times. So at this point, I'm inside this room medicated now with IV medicine, and that's like within moments, minutes, sometimes it's starting to take effect because that was in my muscle. So I get down on my knees in plank position and I just start doing push-ups. 1, 2, 3, like literally 1, 2, 3, 1, literally just nonstop. And the lady, I can see her from there's like a little window, and she's like looking inside to see like what is she doing? Not trying to go to sleep, because it's already a scary place in itself, and the staff who's supposed to be taking care of you treat you like that. It's horrible. That lady watched me scream like a toddler who lost his mother in the rain, and they hate and they're terrified of rain. I was screaming, banging on the door. Diane takes her chair, turns her body away from me so she can't see me. And then, to make it even worse, don't quite remember if it was that day or if it was another day, but Diane, yet again, I asked for some a cup to get some water, which they should have given me as a patient who's in a place they can't go anywhere. She's eating peanuts out of a cup, little small paper cup. She dumps the rest of the peanuts out on a napkin or something and was like, here you go. You don't have to wash it out. So I look inside the cup. Y'all, it's peanut shells all stuck to the inside. No, styrofoam cup. That's what it was. A little styrofoam cup, like the little 4 ounces, 6 ounces cup, full of peanut shells. This is how you treat people? This is how you treat people. That place pushed me so far to the end, y'all. I decided this can't be where people like me go. It can't be. They wonder why mental health gets worse. Because the staff that come to assist, they don't care. They do not care. Not all, but a lot of people go work in those places for the benefits. That's a state facility. I worked at a different hospital with a nurse or several nurses who worked there too. Did I see him that day or while I was there? Not that I know of. But they used to talk about giving people meds like candy because they wanted to have a good shift. And you know what the good shift means? In the nursing world, patients who don't ask no questions, patients who don't bother you, patients who don't call for anything. Why are they there? If that's the case, why are they there? If they don't need help, why are they there? I had come out of a really, really, really horrible mental abusive relationship. I mean, the guy on paper, narcissist, gaslighter, possibly closet lifestyle. Somebody who, because they were weak and very insecure, I allowed them to take me way far away from who I was. So you know what happened after that? My mind said bye too. So this experience taught me I got to do something to help change this. This world is just not this horrific place for everybody. A lot of people make it bad. But I have the understanding that, or the knowledge, that we are who we decide to be. And if you don't decide, you'll just be. So why not just try? The real you. Try. That's what I was doing. That one experience. And I told myself, school done. Bachelor's, that's it. I got a doctorate degree, y'all. Let it sink in. I got a doctorate degree because I wanted to be that person I needed. School for me was learning. I think I cried so much in graduate school because I was overwhelmed. Not just, it had been many years since I had been in school. Like I was competing with other nurse practitioners, other nurses who had like years in the game. I was like 8, 9, 10 at that time, which seemed like a lot, but when you're looking at somebody who 25 years in the game, but I knew my stuff though. Like that was the thing. Like when I worked, people loved me. I try to make you feel like you my family. Because if I was you in that bed, I don't want people treating me like trash, like how I got treated in the past. I don't want that. My passion to teach, apparently, came from that experience at that hospital. Today, still, because it's not yet midnight. I wanted something different. I want to create a world where people are like, I can do whatever and I'm calm up here. Emotional intelligence was something that I learned after I really graduated, if I'm being honest. We don't learn how to be emotional. We just know we got emotions. So this whole journey with school and everything taught me, one, I was clinically depressed probably since childhood, anxious. Yeah, that doesn't go away. We just learn how to change the way we adapt. Adaptation, of, survival of the fit. Not necessarily fit, it's the fit. Where do you fit? My journey led me here. And I still feel this is the beginning. This is the beginning, y'all. We're going to take this to the next level. This was like me saying, this is an anniversary special. But I want it to be like people can see, like the Bible talks about, no person can know the true suffering of another person. It's like on the inside. But we can empathize. We can show a person through our social skills, communication, genuineness. Why do people have to pretend? Just be yourself. If people don't like you, that's their problem. Yeah. And if it's their problem, don't make it yours. Energy is created. When we think thoughts, when we move, I'm creating energy. And it's creating like a little wind. Yeah. We have the power to create energy with our thoughts. So allow the power to be created within yourself. Take time, reflect. Be able to pray if you need to. Prayer for me, like I say to any and everybody, Ecclesiastes 3 is what saved my life. While I was hospitalized, I came across a time for everything. Everything under the sun. There's a time for it. Time to laugh, a time to cry, a time to dance, a time to not dance. A time to love and a time to hate. Sometimes we gotta learn to hate where we are before we change. So how bad do you hate your current self? Change. Renew your spirit. Ask. Knock. Imagine. Like I say, Lord, I'm on your back because Satan is on my ass. So learn to try the real you. So this was just me getting out why you should come back and listen to me, because I learned a lot of tips, a lot of tools. I'm always doing research like I have. I'm creating my own library, y'all, of literally a lot of different medical, any and everything, like any client that I come across or just people that come ask questions, things I'm curious about. I go to the library and I download stuff and I save it to read because I want to help. Like I really, like, it's one of those things where it's like, just like I have these two hands, like you see. I wanted y'all. I'm the student that became, or that's becoming teacher. But in order to be a teacher, I gotta learn, keep learning. So for me, I'm a big student. So I'm gonna try to keep this under 30 minutes because we don't like long videos. So we, on the next episode, will talk about part 2 of emotional intelligence. Part 1, awareness. I got a video on that, so go check that out. And I'm still getting out all the nerves and stuff with talking to people, public speaking, but I got a message, so we're just gonna work through it. It eventually stop. But step 2 on emotional intelligence is self-regulation. How to control your emotions with a smile. Not the Jasmine Sullivan, I'm busting your windows and poking your tires. No, not that kind. The kind that knows the First Amendment right applies to all. Say what you like, but I have the power to disconnect. Like I told somebody today, it's like Pac-Man. Flip that switch, make them go the other way. You know how you flip that switch? Ouch. Sometimes keep your mouth closed. I know it's difficult, but chew some food if you really have a hard time. When you want to say, and don't talk with your mouth full. But learn how to regulate yourself. That's important. But if you don't know what to regulate, then you won't know to regulate. It's almost saying, how do I fix a problem when I don't know a problem exists? But don't go creating other problems trying to exist. Take what you want out of life and leave the rest. You don't have to get frustrated. You don't have to get irritated. You don't have to get disappointed. Disappointment comes from having too high expectations. Be aware. People don't owe you a thing. Not at all. Even, and people may not like it, but even if I was mother, I don't owe my child a thing. Because look at life. Look at how many kids are abandoned. Look at how many kids are killed. Look at how many kids don't make it. Look at it. If they were owed something, we wouldn't have these stories. Let's learn to teach right. Let's learn to love. Turning the other cheek is not about to get in stands. It's about not allowing it to go in anyway. And if it does, not being reactive. Because reacting can lead to consequences and repercussions. Right? So, I say all that to say we are going to end this episode. And hopefully y'all come back. I know I told my story and now you get a piece of me, but come back. Okay, bye.